in the field of mental health. She has extensive experience in training, teaching, counseling, and guidances, clinical supervision, and psychometric assessment. She started her career as a freelancer. When the society recognized the importance of mental health, she started to work with corporate clients and visiting corporate sectors. Her noble service to society established Explore Counseling, an organization with the committed motto of hopeless to hopeful, brought more awards and laurels. She felt a compelling need to support and monitor mental health professionals to hone their skills to deliver an effective therapy to their clients. Her association with international gave birth to the establishment of Indian Academy of Professional Supervisors. She is the founder president of IAPS. She is the immediate past president of Chennai Counselors Foundation. Now welcome, madam. Our teachers are eagerly waiting to listen to your talk on gadgets, a boon or a bane.
1 second, Mrs. Saraswati. I'm very sorry, but may I request you to repeat this again in 2 minutes because there was some problem in streaming to Facebook.
Okay.
So
okay.
just give me a minute. Just please give me a minute, and I will just request again to start again. I apologize for the delay. Dr. Paromita, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, can you just check whether it is streaming already?
Yes, I'm checking.
Yeah.
You just share?
Yes, it's just giving me. So otherwise, I will put the entire recording there. We have the entire recording.
No, it's okay. It will come.
Yeah.
Just select the proper Facebook page. That's it. It will come automatically.
Yes, it's just preparing the live stream review. I'm so sorry, Dr. Vasuki. There was some problem with the, I think the fluctuating internet on my side.
Is it showing on your window that it has come? So it's not yet showing here.
Yes. Right. Yes. Please start, Mrs. Saraswati.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah.
Dr. Vasuki Madhivanan is an accomplished psychologist with over 2 decades of experience in the field of mental health. She has extensive experience in training, teaching, counseling, and guidances, clinical supervision, and psychometric assessment. She started her career as a freelancer. When the society recognized the importance of mental health, she started to work with corporate clients and visiting corporate sectors. Her noble service to society established Explore Counseling, an organization with the committed motto of hopeless to hopeful, brought more awards and laurels. She felt a compelling need to support and monitor mental health professionals to hone their skills to deliver an effective therapy to their clients. Her association with international experts gave birth to the establishment of Indian Academy of Professional Supervisors. She is the founder president of IAPS and she is the immediate past president of Chennai Counselors Foundation. Welcome, ma'am. All our teachers are eagerly awaiting to listen to your talk on gadgets, a boon or a bane.
Can I start?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
please start, madam. Thank you.
Ms. Amuda, can you please stop sharing? Can you see the screen?
Yes. Can you make it full screen, please?
Yeah. Can you? Is this okay now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So at the outset, I would like to thank each and every one of you for giving me this wonderful opportunity, because I always feel and tell the same thing. I mean, though I have done a lot of presentations in so many places, it gives a very different feeling when I do such a program for my alma mater. So I'm so thankful, and thank you very much for the management and all the teachers. Thank you very much. So let us start the topic today. This gadget, boon or bane. So sometimes I feel it is a little sad. I feel sad to talk about such a subject and such a topic, and it's kind of a debate whether it is a boon or bane. But we have to educate ourselves for various reasons, and just looking at things happening around us. So that's what I thought, maybe this topic would be more apt, because it is not that it is useful to students or useful to parents or useful to teachers. I think this topic is across all sectors. We need to be very aware, and we need to know in what way it's affecting us and in what way it's helping us. Because totally we cannot deny the fact it is very technology, and these gadgets are very helpful. So that's the reason I have chosen this topic. Yeah. So all the teachers are here. If I ask you a question, when you look back, maybe 20 years back, 30 years back, have you ever heard that your parents were attending, or parents attended these parenting workshops or workshop for teachers or something like this on such topics? So
Never.
yeah. So whenever you want to talk, because I want to make it more interactive, so whenever you want to talk, please unmute and talk to me. So I can't see all of you, because since I'm sharing the screen. So have you ever, so you said no, right? So it doesn't mean that those days the problems did not exist. It's not the thing. But we have a different support system, and we have entirely different kind of a community where people helped and people shared things with each other. You don't look for outsider or seeking professional help, something like that. All our grandparents and great grandparents, they play the role of a counselor in different ways. Counselor in the sense, it's not that they have studied psychology or something, but through moral stories and their experiences and narrations, very different narrative, they made us to understand the morals and why we have to do this, why we should not do this, what is good about this, what is bad about this. All the life lessons were taught to us through these stories and their own narratives. So that is a very, I have to say, that is a golden era, which our children or this present generation is totally missing. That is why this present children or handling kids become a very challenging for both parents and teachers. The reasons, few reasons, I can just say that I'm sure that teachers will come up with so many other reasons. The first thing is no goals in life. If you call a 10th standard or 11th, see, please understand, I'm not generalizing things, but many things I'm talking from my experience as a counselor, as a psychologist who's in the field last 25 years. See, if you call and talk to a 11th or 12th standard student, and what is that you want to do in life? Many of them, you will get the answer, I don't know, from many of them, because they are not very clear what they wanted to achieve or what is the purpose of life. What is the purpose of life? It is not the in a bigger way, but at least what is it I want to become? What is it I want to do? After 5 years, where do I want to see myself? So in the, what career I want to choose? They don't know. They are not very clear about it. They are not very sure about it. They have mixed information. And the reason is they have no goals in life. I want to become. So only very few students are very clear. I want to become like this. I want to become an architect. I want to become an artist. I want to become a dancer, something like that. Or I want to become a teacher, something like that. So what happens when they don't have goals in life, and when they don't understand what is it I'm going to do, why I have to do, there's the purpose behind that and the objective of why he has to do, they very easily they get demotivated. Even a small failure, even a small thing which they are not able to get their own way, they will get demotivated. So that is why, see, one of the psychologists, I don't remember his name, he said nowadays the greatest problem is children are having vitamin N deficiency. Have you, any of you, have you heard of vitamin N? We all know A, B complex, C, D, all these things. Have you heard of vitamin N?
No, ma'am.
Any guess what is vitamin N? Okay, so vitamin N is nothing but no. They never get to hear no from their parents. Okay, so so parents also doing things out of their way, and sometimes they feel that as a ideal parent means you have to do what your child asks. So they also very reluctant and hesitant to say no to their children. So children never learn to take no. When they get their first no from outsider, maybe a teacher, maybe a friend, maybe someone from the society, maybe when you become an adult, from your employer, from your organization, or from your girlfriend, or from your boyfriend, so they are not able to take it. That is where they consider that as a total failure, and they get into so many other things, and which is very unpleasant. And sometimes they get into antisocial activities very easily because of the peer pressure. And I'll talk about gadget addiction a little later. And health issues. What is the health issues? Today children, obesity is one of the biggest health issue because of the food they eat, because of their lifestyle and all these things, especially during this lockdown. The parents, one of the issue the parents bring to me is, I am not able to bring any discipline in my child. The child is not a 5-year or 6-year-old child, maybe a college goer who is at home because of the lockdown and who is doing online classes, because she sleeps by 2 o'clock and gets up by 11 o'clock. She skips her breakfast. This is one of the common issue. There's no proper sleep routine. They don't follow any sleep rituals. Adding to it gadgets, usage of gadgets. So today I want to highlight and emphasize more on this gadget addiction, because one of the very important issue parents and teachers face today. Okay, the question is, gadget, is it a development or disaster? Definitely it is a development. Even if you and me, irrespective of all these consequences on bad effects, you and me want to be away from this gadget, it is not possible. Just now Shanti madam spoke about what a marvelous work her teachers are doing. That is only possible because of the gadgets. That is only possible because it is a virtual platform. So it is very much, it is required for our development, nation's development, individual development, community development, society development. It is very important. But the thing is just opposite to that. That is, misusing or abusing the gadgets will bring a lot of disasters. Just morning I have just before this session, I have done a session for IIT Mumbai students on natural disasters and what are the coping ways. Okay, when I talk about natural disasters, again and again it's coming to my mind. Even the pandemic, though it doesn't get categorized under disaster, it is also natural disaster in many ways. Even gadgets over usage is a disaster for that particular person, for that particular family. So abusing the gadgets brings a lot of disaster. So let us see what are the disaster and what are the ways we can cope up with that. Okay, if I ask you a question, when you, the question is, when you were 7 years old, your favorite activity was? Can one or two of you can give me the answer? What was your favorite activity when you were 7-year-old?
Playing games, ma'am.
Yes.
Playing games with my friends.
Okay, so it is most of the time it is indoor, right?
No, outdoor. Evening times we usually go
evening
out.
Times. Evening time. So playing with your friends. Okay,
Yes,
and what about people who used to play indoors? Because many of us are very fond of indoor games. That is coming from our childhood.
Yes, along with parents, we used to play some indoor games like carom or Ludo kind of a thing. We used to draw on the floor and
Okay, so a lot of activities. But
yeah.
How old are you, madam, if you don't mind?
Now I'm 33.
Okay, you are 33. Maybe 20 years back, maybe if I ask Saraswati teacher, she will say that maybe Paramapadam,
Pallanguli,
Pallanguli,
Kallangai,
Snakes
Yeah,
and
yeah,
guys.
very much.
Just please understand, I didn't even see you. But from the answer you gave me, I guess you should be in 30 to 40. That's why I asked the age. Because that was the time even you are not very much aware or very much fond of this Pallanguli and all those things.
Yeah, even now we are playing that.
Activities. But now, if you ask the same question to your child, or if I ask you the same question, what is your child's favorite? The child is maybe 7 or 8. What is the favorite activity? Tell me
Now,
openly.
games.
Video games.
Using mobile.
Mobile games, playing
Yeah.
games in mobile.
Yes.
Even maybe the same chess, but they like to do in online. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there are a lot of change happened. But now again, thanks to this COVID-19 and this pandemic, I think during this time, many people started doing a lot of indoor activities. Many people started buying and understanding and learning these games. Okay, so it is all happened because we were compelled to do all these things. We were compelled to stay indoors. Otherwise, things will not happen like this. So you can see a huge change in the games they played and the way they played, so that all the related activities. The very important thing is, what is that? What is a tech usage versus human behavior? What is that impact generally, irrespective of whether it is a child or adult or teacher or parent or whoever it is? The very big thing is danger on the road. If you see whether it can be bike riders or car or two-wheeler or four-wheeler, whatever it is, people are very fond of using these gadgets, especially mobile phones, during their travel. Even the signal, if you look around you or just next to you, you can see the people who are sitting in the bike, the person who is in the pavilion, she will be checking or he will be checking. Because we are so preoccupied and engrossed, because one peep sound we cannot resist. We have to take the phone and we have to look at it. So that is how. So because of this, a lot of accidents happen. People violating the traffic norms, traffic rules. So many accidents, so many careless, reckless accidents happen. So many things. And another thing is the digital divide home. When I say digital divide home, it may be a very small nuclear family with husband, wife, and 2 kids. But all the 4 people will be having their own gadgets and devices, and they will be doing things. And one of my clients says that though we have good enough time, my husband always send information through messages from his office, WhatsApp messages, which he can communicate directly face to face from home, but he forgets to do that because they are fully engrossed and engaged in all these activities. Same thing with children also. Same thing, children also. Okay, can you please mute yourself? I can hear a lot of background noise. Okay, so another thing is this is especially with kids, they're becoming over involved and self-centered. Because it is only about them, because they don't need a partner to play. They don't understand the importance of the other person, because there were times we used to compromise with our friends because otherwise we will not have the team to play games. Am I right? Because if we pick up some fight, they won't come in the evening to play with us. So we try to we do our level best to compromise on them, because we value that team group games and group playing very much. Whereas nowadays children, you don't need, because you have your gadgets. They become self-centered. So same kind of a behavior will be reflected in their other activities also. And seeking offline like button, because it is only that how many likes, what is a comment, how many people like my post. So the like is, it is not that verbal liking. You just say, oh, you have done a good job, you have done a marvelous job, you are the best, like that. No, I just want these virtual likes and comments. So people slowly, when I say people, it includes both adults and children. Slowly, they are just becoming, or they are more inclining towards this virtual media and non-verbal cues. Not even non-verbal cues. I can't use that word. It is just the virtual likes and dislikes, virtual likes, comments, all those things. And it is for everything. There's an SMS language, there's a WhatsApp language. Sometimes the youngsters, when they send messages, you don't even understand, because everything is short form, all things short and sweet. Have you very rarely you get to see the word thanks, THANKS. It's only TNKS, or sometimes that is also changed as the way they want, because so all things short and sweet. So the tendency develops. The language, what they are using, the same thing will be reflecting in their own behavior also. And very, very dangerous thing is, common and dangerous thing, instant gratification. Whatever you do, just like that, you have to get the reply. You have to get the response. There's no way of waiting or being patient. Then where do you develop the patience and tolerance in children? Where are they going to learn? How are they going to learn to be patient and to be tolerant? So when they are not able to do this, because many things, all this, as I said earlier, all these goods, bads, morals and immorals, all these things we learn through games and stories. But nowadays that is totally denied. But this lockdown time, things are little changing. Hope that will continue sustain. So this is the major difference between technology usage and the human behavior. Okay. So when we say addiction, why do we say addiction? I'm not going to read from the definition or something. When I say addiction, when you have no control over your own behavior, that is when it becomes an addiction. Till then it is a habit or it is just a behavior. For an example, okay, you are taking, using the phone, using the iPad for your studies, for learning, that's fine. If you want, okay, you decide, okay, 1 hour I am going to use this, and after that I am going to get into some other activity. Then that is good enough, that is fine. But if you are going to become addicted in the sense, even though you want to stop doing things after 1 hour, but you cannot do, you are not able to do that, you have no control over your own behavior, that is when we call that as addiction. Till then it is okay. So what happened after this? Once you become addicted to a particular behavior or habit, then your whole routine and your whole lifestyle gets changed. You procrastinate. You think, okay, let me spend another half an hour. That half an hour become 1 hour becomes 2 hours, like that. So all your other activities get impacted. Especially just imagine such things when this happened to students. Looking at their, considering and taking their maturity level into consideration. So what are the aspects it will get impacted? Their academics, their physical growth, their emotional growth, their social development, all aspects of development. People just sit like a couch potato, they sit in one place and just spend a lot of time on gadgets. Whatever reason it would be. That's the reason I asked a question, how the online learning classes are going on. Because as adults, we may have the control of our own behavior, which there are adults who don't have, that's a different story, but children. So considering their age and their emotional maturity, so if they don't have that kind of a control, then that may lead to addiction, which will impact everything, all aspects of their development. So it is, as a parent or as a teacher, it is very important for you to assess your student or child addiction in a different way. So what I'm saying is, maybe many of you are logged in from your own homes. So I'm sure that you may have a paper or pencil or something next to you. Just ask this question to yourself and assess. The first one, maybe for you or for someone else whom you think they are too much time they are spending on gadgets. Maybe spending large amounts of time consumed and preoccupied with technology, which may impact on other daily tasks. Just if you feel yes, just put 1 or 0. Next one is may withdraw from previously enjoyed activities. If you don't understand the meaning of any statement, please stop me and ask me. May withdraw from previously enjoyed activities. If you have noticed, sometimes your students or kids who used to show interest in drawing, painting, or some handwork, they totally lost interest, because all their mind is, all their interest now towards the games, online games. So the activities which they really enjoyed earlier, now it doesn't give them any excitement, doesn't give them any enjoyment, because they feel that other activity, that is the online games and online activities, are more exciting. Sometimes I tell parents and teachers, when they say this, I say that try to create, as parents, as teachers, we have to be very, very creative at this point of time. Try to use your creativity and create some activities which bring more excitement to the student, to the child, so that he will not think about the online games, but he will get into the other activity. That is how we have to modify things. That is how we have to become more creative in few things. And may withdraw from family and friends, especially those who are in the pre-teens. If you call your child, or if you invite your child to visit somewhere, or just come and talk to the relatives or things, they don't like, or any weddings or family wedding, they are not very much into it, unless they are very close-knitted family. They don't like to interact. They only want their friends, or they only want their virtual friends, or they want to chat online or something like that. They totally withdraw from family, and even if they stay at home, they will be they will be into their house. One of the parent, when she was talking to me, she said, this lockdown doesn't have any effect on my son, because already always he used to isolate himself within the room. When he comes back from college, he is always in the room. So it's already he used to be isolated. So now it doesn't make any difference. Even for the food, for dinner or anything, he doesn't come out. He takes the food and inside and just eat and watch TV. So same thing he's continued to do. So it doesn't make any difference in him. This is for the college goer. Same thing with the pre-teens, because they spend more time. They like to spend more time. So these are the points you have to assess. What is that really making them more engaged? Is it the online games, or it is the games they play with friends? Sometimes when they do online games, most of the time it is with strangers. That is when they get into more problems. And also this is of different time zones. See, I'm not saying that this is common across all sectors or all economic groups or nothing like that. But these are the few things which is happening around, which we have to be alert and become alert and aware. So to many parents, we believe that my child will not do it. But parents are the last people who come to know about their own children at many occasions. So, and another sign is maybe feeling I am bored or lost without technology. Suppose your Wi-Fi is not there. There's a power cut. The child will become very, very restless. For that matter, even adults. If we don't get to see the WhatsApp messages for more than 2 hours, we become very, very restless, anxious, because we are so much used to do such things every 10 minutes. Whenever there's a beep sound or some sound, we have to take the phone and check. So without technology, the child doesn't know how to keep himself occupied. So always he say, I'm bored, I'm lost. I don't want to come to my grandma's place because there's no Wi-Fi there. What will I do there? So this is the kind of lifestyle nowadays children are they are getting into. And maybe becoming very tired and irritable, and also because overusage that brings a lot of health hazards. One of the things is that totally very much affecting the optical nerves and optical, all things related to optical things. So because they are spending a lot of time on seeing, and they're straining their own eyes. So because the strain, when they are taking the strain, too much strain on their eyes, they don't know what is the reason. So very easily they become irritated. Very easily they become tired. The same thing with students also. I mean, same thing with adults also. I think yesterday I did a session for one Tamil television. So that's what I was telling. So we all talk about, the topic is online learning and the children committing suicide. So students committing suicide. So I just said, okay, we are talking about students because they are committing suicide. It is very obvious. What about teacher stress? This in the sense, because it is transition, very rightly Mrs. Shanti said that they are in the transition stage. Always transition stage is very stressful, because it makes you to undergo a lot of changes. So you also have to adapt to the new system. You have to learn the technology. You have to become more familiar with the technology. That gives, irrespective of your age and experience and other things, that gives a lot of impact, a lot of stress to you. So you become more irritable. This is very well applicable to adults also. But children easily, that can be seen because they become tired and they become irritated and they avoid their food. They just say that I'm tired, I'm not able to concentrate on my studies, I'm not able to focus on my studies. So these are the few indications saying that they are very tired, and the over usage of gadget is happening there. And also spending a lot of time, maybe spending time surfing the internet with lack of purpose. There's no purpose. Especially that is one of the complaints now about online, especially psychologists like us, when we talk to teachers and schools management. So one of the thing is because of the online classes, especially this I'm talking about maybe those who are in the 8th standard, 9th standard, like that. So they are using this opportunity to get into unwanted stuff. They are spending a lot of time on surfing and checking the internet and Googling while the classes are going on, because they are opening another parallel window. So many things are happening, because how many times, how many houses they have the check and balance system where someone adult just sits there and monitors, which children they don't like also. Maybe with small children it's okay, others. And they become very angry or distressed when gadgets are unavailable. Suppose, I mean, recently, you would have read in the newspaper, phone vaangi kudukala, so appa phone vaangi kudukala, that paiyan vandu committed suicide because he is not able to attend online classes. So was the real answer? Was that a real reason? So is he really keen on? We don't know what is the reason, because we can't talk things on assumption. So if it is not available, illa parents on the phone vaangi vechitanga, you commit suicide. You end up your life. So that's all your life. That's the worth of your life. What is the purpose of your life? Children don't understand. That's what earlier at the first initially I said, that there's no goals in life. So these are the signs of addiction. What I am saying is, when we call that as gadget addiction, we have to understand where we can draw a line between whether it is just using the gadget, so it's becoming the level of addiction. So for you to understand what are the signs of addiction, I am talking about these things. So you can assess for yourself, you can assess for your one of the family members, or you can assess for your neighbor, or assess for your student, whatever. Because students openly, they don't do all these things in front of teachers. So if parents come and tell you, then you can just gauge whether it is going towards addiction or it is just a minimal usage. Okay, so when we say that yes, gadgets, it is used for, see, if you take gadgets, when we say that it is very much useful for the development, what are the ways? Just take children with disability. Many ways the virtual platforms are very helpful to them. These gadgets, they are able to do many things which they cannot do like others. And in many ways, it is very helpful. People with physical disabilities, it's very helpful. And it's also, there are a lot of even games for that matter, and lot of programs which really develop students' creativity and problem solving abilities. That is very good. today when we talk about academics, I'm sure that a school like Children's Garden School, where I studied and where I have experience, they don't really focus only on academic growth or academics. They always, even those days, I'm talking about 28 years back, even those days they used to focus more on the holistic development. So I'm sure that it will be much, much ahead now. So it is not all the schools are like that. So there are programs and there are some sectors of this technology which really helping children to learn the problem solving. What are the creative problem solving? Okay, if you are not able to arrive at this solution, what is the other solution? These games really helpful. So they get to learn a lot of cognitive abilities, cognitive faculties, which we call as survival skills. Very well they are learning from these things, because they are becoming, because this is a platform where you get to learn multiple things in one platform. In that way, yes, it is very good, and the language proficiency that improves by just watching this, playing these games and watching a lot of series. So it is really developing a language proficiency. So many good things are happening, but where to draw the line? That is where the problem. As adults, we may be able to draw the line. Okay, this is what I have, this much time I had. But children, when they don't, their boundaries, when they tend to violate the boundary, that is when the problem happens. So what happens, the effects is experiencing high stress level. Why? See, the stress, when I say that high stress level, it doesn't come directly. It doesn't, you don't feel that, okay, it is giving me a lot of stress. It is in a different way. It affects the different aspects. If, for example, a child who is totally into this tend to procrastinate. Especially they procrastinate with their academic subjects, academic work. So what happens? There will be a lot of backlog. So when exams are nearing, they get into the panic mode. They become more anxious. Now again, things are becoming little normal. When I say normal, I'm not talking about the safety factor, but normal in the sense people started doing their, started slowly resuming their work. College, I mean academic institute, they started announcing their exams and those things. So in that way, so what happens, all these months people were very relaxed, very relaxed, and now suddenly the exam date is announced. So they don't know what to do. They're so panicked. They're so panicked and they get into thing, and they don't know, because very 2 weeks, 3 weeks is left. But I have not touched my textbook for last 5 months. So it gives them a lot of stress. So what makes them, they tend to lose their sleep. They don't tend to skip their food. So it is a kind of a vicious circle. So gadgets usage, over usage doesn't affect anything directly. Many times it is just other ways. So that gives them a lot of stress. And this stress is very infectious in nature. Definitely the whole family members, especially parents, especially mothers. And just imagine if the mothers are working mothers. Just look at the stress, kind of stress. And then it is not helping in the holistic development, because only few aspects are getting, getting some kind of signals which may help them to develop those faculties, not holistic development. And definitely a lot of other psychosocial difficulties, like sleep difficulties, because they don't follow a sleep cycle or sleep routine, sleep hygiene. They don't go to sleep on same time and get up. So maybe once in a while it's okay. Otherwise it is kind of we say that as a sleep ritual. You have to sleep on time, maybe 10 o'clock, and just get up by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. It is not that one day 12 o'clock and the next day 1 o'clock. It's like that, because you are abusing your own circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is your sleep, it's an internal biological clock which we have within our body, which causes social jet lag. There's a lot of discrepancy, what is in real and what is that they are following. See, what is real? Usually it is advised, it is suggested you have to have your breakfast at least before 9 o'clock or 9:30, because there's a long break. That's why we call that breakfast. But because of their irregular sleep pattern, they tend to skip their breakfast, or they have their breakfast at 11 o'clock. So there's a jet lag. If we travel other countries, we get that jet lag. Like that, this is a social jet lag. People will get up and get ready and go to their work and do their work. But here they will be lagging behind, which will impact the other aspects. And health issues, like because of the irregular eating patterns and non-mindful eating, the obesity. And very important thing is there's something called nature deficit disorder. The reason why it is being termed as disorder, it affects the person's growth in many ways. When you interact and when you become engaged with nature, environment, you learn many things. When you go out, you have to go out to learn about you learn sharing. As I said, the problem solving, even your leadership skills. When you do outdoor activities, when you work when you play in a team, you have to assign. Okay, you are going to be the leader. I'm going to be the teammate today. I'm now this turn I'm going to be the referee, and this time you are going to be like this. So you assign different roles. So each role has different qualities, different skills. You develop all these things. All these things you learn by exposing yourself and interacting yourself with environment, nature. If you don't do that, and if you are going to use only gadgets, then that becomes a nature deficit disorder. You are lacking in many qualities. It becomes a problem. And then the very important thing is taking away the quality of life. Okay, it is a very meaningful picture, because why I wanted to use this here is, when we say about quality time and when we talk about role modeling, when we say about quality time and when we say about role modeling, parents, teachers, adults, we have to be the role model. The time gone are those days where we say that I will do whatever I want to, but as my child, as my kid, or as a student, you have to do like this. Gone are those days. So we have to be the role model, especially for parents. Parents, if you are going to say, yes, I will do this, but because I am your father, I am your mother, but you are not supposed to do this. No child is going to listen. Definitely the child will ask, because we are only asking them to be, encouraging them to be more analytical, encouraging them to be more probing and asking questions. So definitely they will ask us question. How come you? Why not me? So be mindful about what you are doing in front of your child and in front of your student. Okay. So the title says bad advisors. Because when we say the word advice, it is supposed to be very positive and supposed to be very helpful and guiding someone. That's when we call as advisors. But sometimes we say bad advisors. It may sound to you like an oxymoron. I also believe the statements which we are going to say is an oxymoron only. That's what I use the word bad advisors. Playing is a waste of time. Many parents do that. When they play, they say they don't play. Don't waste your time. Why don't you do something constructive rather than playing? Usually. So I'm not saying that every one of you are saying this, but I'm just saying these are the general statement parents do make. Don't be afraid to tell the world what you feel. Okay, you have to be very transparent. You have to open. You have to tell whatever you want to feel. Don't teach your children like that. Tell them what you have to talk, where you have to talk, when you have to talk. You have to know that. You cannot talk the way how you are talking to your parents with your teacher. You cannot talk the way you are talking with your friends, with your outsiders. So parents should teach the children. Teachers should teach the students what they have to do, how they have to talk. These are the life skills and survival skills. And many times we say, just look at your future, focus on your future, think about the future. What is it you are going to do? More than everything, what you are doing right now. Focus on the present is very important if you want to have a better future. So make the child to understand what is that he is doing right now impacts his future. And then comparison. Look at her. Why can't you be like her? Comparison. Children hate it. Whether it is academics or sports or athletics or whatever it is, they hate comparison. Even we don't like, I don't like to be compared with another counselor. I don't like to be compared with another psychologist. I don't like to be compared with another professional. I don't like that. So children definitely, they don't like it. And keep yourself busy. Don't remain idle. This is also one of the, in the name of advice, parents say that don't remain idle. That idleness is required for some time, because at times you need to be idle. You need to laze around. So that will help you to regain your energy. That will help you to relax. But when to be lazy, and are you effort to be lazy right now is the question. That you can teach, but don't tell even after exams. If the child just sits and lays around, don't be like this. No, we can't say that, because the child needs his time. You should win always. That is also, it's not an advice at all. You try, attempt something, that is okay. But winning is not, because children should be able to take both, they should know what is failure. If they understand, or if they get the message wrongly, like always I have to win, if they don't do that, that will totally affect their self-esteem. Make friends only with studious children. This is also, I heard many parents say that his friends are not good, they don't study well, after that only he's become like this, she's become like that. Earlier she used to be a very studious student, all these things. No. You have to, the friendship and studiousness or education is very, very different, because each child, and I'm sure that teachers, you also will agree with me, each child has their own potential. Each child has its own signature skill. So it doesn't mean because the child doesn't score good marks in one particular subject or academics, the child is not good. I'm sure that teachers from Children's Garden School will not agree with me. I don't think that is a mantra you follow, but there are many academic institutes follow that mantra. So parents also go by that. So these are the bad advices. So when you get to give such kind of advices, children become more closed. So what they will do is they try to get some quick fixes in the form or in the way of spending more time in gadgets or mobiles or like that. So we have come to the last part of the presentation. How can you handle? So you may ask, okay, we know that it is very, very, it's not overusage or abusing the gadgets is not good. So what is that we can do? Take care of the quality and quantity time. When we only talk about the quality time. So quality, more than everything, it is a quantity. So it is not that, okay, half an hour I'm just sitting with my child, that is good enough. No. So it is not only the quality, but it's also the quantity. How much time you are using? So every day just half an hour sitting with the child? No, it's not that. Same thing, set the limits on gadget usage and the type of device. So as I said that we cannot go away or do away with gadgets, because the gadgets has become part of our lives. But only thing is how you are going to set the limit. Okay, so how much time? You just ask the child as per the child's age. How much time you are going to spend? Are you going to spend 1 hour? Are you have the privilege of spending 1 hour? If yes, okay. Maybe just after the exams or just 1 month before the exam, that's okay. So you just talk to the child, converse with the child and just come to an agreement, make the child to take the decision. So when they take the decision, they will be more responsible. Create tech-free zones at home. This is very important, especially the dining table. No phones dining table, including the adults. It's not only father can use, no. So create tech-free zones. So when you watch TV as a family, or when you sit together and eat, so create some zones, whatever it is. Or when you are into some spiritual practices, no gadgets. And if you are having the habit of sharing your own device with your child, be careful what are the information you have in your thing and whether the child can access that. Or the information what you have in your phone, is it okay for your child to access that information? Be careful, especially adults. Especially when there are two kids with a long age variation. One child is in college and other child is in school. Be careful when they share devices. Don't buy gadget. Okay, and this is a very important thing. Most of the time children get into these gadgets and usage of gadget because of the peer pressure. My friend is using this, my friend wants to do this, so I also want this. All my friends, they are using this phone, this model, this make, I also want that. Don't go or don't buy anything because of the social pressure, because of the peer pressure, because that will become a habit. More than everything, skill up your child. Very, very important. As I said earlier, why they are into these gadgets and why they are using this for quite a lot of time they are spending on this, because that gives them a lot of freedom, that gives them a lot of excitement. So what is that you can make so that that child will become more excited on that? That is what we call that skill up your child. What are the ways you can encourage? Children need two things constantly. One is encouragement and another thing is appreciation. Encouragement, appreciation just work like it's magic. It brings a lot of miracles. So skill up your child so that he loses interest on other things. It is like in Tamil we say that irukodukal tattvam we say. When we are very, very bothered about one small line, when you draw a bigger line next to that, that becomes very smaller. You don't even give importance to that. Same thing here. Skill up your child so that the child loses interest on one particular aspect and becomes excited about the other things. So we have to be very creative. Parents and teachers, we have to be creative when it comes to children and their tech usage or gadget usage. And I want to end up by saying this is one of my favorite quote by Dr. Ginsburg. I'm going to give you lots of opportunity to grow a deep sense of connection so that you are going to be firmly rooted. I am going to give you lots of opportunity to make mistakes. But when something comes down to safety or morality, please underline safety or morality, you are going to do what I say because I know best. Parents and teachers, they have to take this stand. Unfortunately, because of a lot of occurrences happening in the society, even the discipline becomes a very, very big question mark in schools also, because teachers are very, very reluctant because you don't know how it will lead to. So, but when it comes to safety and morality, we cannot compromise on that as parents and teachers. Having said that, I would like to end up my presentation. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vasuki. Now we'll hand it over to you to answer. Teachers, can you please unmute yourself and you are free to ask questions. Thank you everyone on Facebook. There have been so many views and we will get back to this video. We'll put this on our YouTube channel as well. Thank you.